me, Mario.
Oh god, I wonder how many people wore a hat like this in their videos. I'm just gonna take this off now. It's officially 2018, although it has been for a little while now, I apologize about that. But with the new year, I thought it'd be a good time to talk about one of my favorite titles of last year. Not quite my game of the year, but the thing that was also made by Nintendo, so... Now, if you were to ask me if I was a Mario kid growing up, I'd say... I was more into Sonic the Hedgehog, if that wasn't, completely obvious. Sure, I did play the games, but I wasn't consistent on the main series until about the Wii with Super Mario Galaxy. But I did make a point to try and get every Mario title I could from then on. So when they were showing off trailers and gameplay of their new game, oh, you know I was all over that. Super Mario Odyssey. Now, just as a warning, there is a high chance I'll go into spoilers, so keep that in mind when watching. But if you stuck around, let's jump right in, because that's pretty much what the game does. The opening cutscene is Mario and Bowser duking it out, when suddenly... Bowser has once again captured Princess Peach, this time to marry her, all while looking incredibly stylish, I must say. Yeah, a simple concept to move forward. I think I'd be more weirded out by a complex story at this point. And right after that, we're thrown into the first level, and as soon as I got control of Mario, I knew things were going to go well. He controls exactly how I expected him to, as well as having some new moves, which I'm pretty sure he learnt from someone at the Olympics recently. For those of you used to playing Mario 64, a lot of familiar moves are still here. You have your running triple jump, your reverse backflip, your crouching backflip, and the long jump. One of the moves I'm not sure is new or not is a ground pound cancel dive, but man, this move is amazing, especially at the end of a triple jump. But even with just these, I felt that Mario had already easily enough movement options to be able to get around the game. But then we're introduced to Cathy. Quite early on, we find out Cathy's sister has been taken by Bowser. This gives him the perfect excuse to join our hero on an adventure to get them both back. And this companion actually has quite a lot to offer us, like some nice color commentary about the areas we explore and the things that we see. Though I swear, if you continue to tell me how to do simple moves when I'm at the end of the game, I'm throwing you into the nearest fireplace.
Hey, you've come pretty far, but do you know how to jump?
Oh gee, thanks. I've only been playing this game for about 20 hours. He also enhances our movement options, as when thrown you can bounce off him like a spring, which can lead to some ridiculous triple jump, ground pound cancel, Cappy bounce, ground pound cancel combos. Dear God, the movement system in this game is insane! I can only imagine what the speedrunning community can do with this, or maybe what they've already done with this, I don't know. And this movement system is amazing to use around these levels, and I really enjoy the level design. Levels can be variations of two different types, the small and compact style and the wide open style, each featuring quite a lot of things to do and see. But even if the map is small horizontally, each level has quite a lot to offer vertically, so getting really good at the movement is a fantastic way of getting up to high places, to secrets you may not have found otherwise. But our brand new companion offers another way for us to navigate the levels. Cappy has one other gimmick, and it's kind of important. It might be the major selling point of the game, and that's the ability to possess the enemies. Oh wait, no, they went on record saying it's not possession, it's capturing. Emphasis on cap, I bet, because god damn it, Nintendo. And honestly, I really like this idea. It opens a lot more unique ways to deal with situations and just to basically travel around. I imagine it also gets rid of that limitation of the power-up. Rather than having an item for a power-up, you can give it a lot more personality by attaching it to an enemy. Like, oh hey, there's a fish, it can probably swim very well and can breathe underwater. You can take over enemies to do all kinds of things, whether it be jump really high or fly around, or just recreate Jurassic Park and murder everything. Dang, Yoshi! You been working out? Of course, the game takes advantage of the fact you can do this by building levels and challenges that require you to be certain things. And it doesn't always have to be enemies. It can be just something that you need to capture briefly to fling yourself up a building. It just means exploring these areas and taking care of tasks is very interesting. It also means that getting the game's collectible, the Power Moons, is very flexible. Yeah, instead of Power Stars, it's Power Moons. You know, just in case you needed one more connection to this being a spiritual successor to Mario 64. These Power Moons are essential to powering the Odyssey, Mario's newly acquired airship. And it's with the Power Moons that comes my only real complaint about the game, and even then it's more personal preference. There are a lot of them, and I mean a lot. 800 plus, easy. It just feels so quantity over quality. Yes, doing these little tasks and finding a moon feels great. Do a little thing, solve a little puzzle, get a Power Moon, continue on throughout the stage. But for what is basically a reward for figuring out things or solving puzzles or looking at clues to find the whereabouts of these moons, some of them just sit out in the middle of nowhere waiting for you to find them. I wish they had just halved the amount of moons and made them more worthwhile. But that's really my only complaint about it. And I'm pretty sure from what I've heard in passing, it's not just me. Yeah, it is satisfying to get that little jingle and a reward for everything you do and figure out, but some of them did feel like busy work. Though I do have a soft spot for those ones they hide around corners you're not expected to look. You'll need anywhere between 6 to maybe 15 to continue on to the next area, depending on the area. But since each area offers an abundance of these things, there is a high chance you'll get them before even exploring the whole map. So with that in mind, it does leave you quite open to what you want to do within the level to progress. When you enter the stage, it does kind of point you in the right direction, but you don't have to do that. You can choose to go elsewhere. And on the flip side, that is one of the benefits of having so many moons to choose from, because to actually beat the game, you only need about 124 moons. I could see this really being a bother depending on whether you're going for 100% or not. So now I've spoken about the main meat of the game. From here I want to talk a bit more about my opinion on things and some of my favorite parts. Things like my favorite level and some of my favorite moments, similar to how I've structured videos in the past. Now, I absolutely adore snow levels. I even made a video talking about my top 5 favorite ones. Don't check it out though, it's an old video. It's not good. The list is old as well. Just forget I said anything. So it may come as a surprise to you when I say my favorite level is not Shiveria or whatever it's called. It's a stupid name. I found myself absolutely loving the Lake Kingdom. It's just so damn nice to look at. The shimmering grass against a sparkling wall and the lovely use of greens, blues, and purples. Something you may learn about me quite quickly is that I love eye candy levels. Does it have bright colors? Does it sparkle? Is there particle effects? I am all about that. And with the visuals of this level and the lovely soothing music playing in the background, it was just, such an experience. And I wish that this was one of the big levels, but unfortunately it was one of the shorter ones. But man, if I didn't enjoy my stay. A close runner-up would have easily been the Luncheon Kingdom, cause damn, if I enjoy use of color, this is the place to go. In terms of levels that impacted me less, I'd say the Steam Gardens in Wooded Kingdom, and it's not a bad level by any means. It's just visually it doesn't really appeal to me as much as the other levels, and I wasn't too big on the enemies you could capture or the gimmicks around them, though it did give me a chuckle every time I was able to nut around the corner. What's wrong with me? Since we briefly mentioned graphics, I'd like to take the opportunity to say, my god, this game is beautiful. The levels look so complex and interesting, yet are really easy to read. Steam Gardens still looks really nice, even though it's not my personal aesthetic. Though I definitely can see where there might be a disconnect with the realistic graphics. I just can't be upset with this. But then again, I like strange art direction, and man, did it always leave me guessing about what I was about to see next. In fact, I have the perfect example of what I mean. Hey everyone, and welcome to Final Fantasy XIV. A new Extreme Primal just came out, Shinryu EX, and I thought now would be the perfect time to tell you all about it. So let's just select that and queue up, shall we? Jeez, about time. Good old Shinryu EX, always providing a good challenge for Mario. Hang on, what? Holy shit! This is a Super Mario game with a dragon in it! Where did this come from? I mean, don't get me wrong, this thing's amazing. Bowser just shows up on the back of this thing's like,
Hey, guess what, Mario? No, seriously, take a guess. I'll explain if you don't get it.
I wonder if he's got his dog mount yet. Seriously, it's stuff like this that made me change my mind on whether you could spoil a Mario game or not. It has nothing to do with plot, because let's face it, what's there to spoil in a Mario story these days? But it's that reaction you have when you're expecting certain things and you get things like this. Talk about throwing me into the deep end. I don't even know if I could reenact my reaction, or any of my others, because I had quite a few. If it wasn't because of the music or visuals, it was usually because the game played on nostalgia. Now, before I get into this, I feel like I should say a few things. When big companies like Sega or Nintendo nostalgia pandas, that's for me. I am 200% the target audience. I love references, and I love the feeling of nostalgia. And of course, I feel like people can go too far with it, but I do also think you can make something feel nostalgic yet new. And I believe Nintendo handled it pretty well. Scattered around the game, something you're introduced to pretty early on are these retro 2D sections. Go into the pipe and suddenly you're playing Super Mario 1. The current music staying the same, but getting a slight 8-bit edge. And I really like these sections. As someone who grew up with the original Super Mario Bros., it's really cool to see this game reference its beginning. But thankfully it doesn't stick around too long for people who don't feel the same way for it to be overwhelming. The game references older stuff in another way as well, in the form of collectible outfits you can buy for Mario. I love this edition so much. Some of them are just silly, but others reference games and even commercials. Once you beat the game, you even unlock outfits of other characters, as well as some other special outfits. If you have the corresponding amiibo, you can actually unlock them early. I think it's a really smart way to reference the other games without being too intrusive, and it gives you just another reason to go and explore the levels in search of these purple coins to buy the outfits. But it's an extra, so you don't have to do it if you don't want to. And that's really why I love the way Nintendo handles nostalgia, especially the big trip after you beat the game. I kind of want to go into this by telling you I don't quite have the same nostalgic history with this series as some people. Yes, I did wind up playing and completing Mario 64, but that was years later on the Wii Virtual Console. But man, even I had a moment when I saw the Mario 64 references at the end, especially when you collect the moon and you hear it. Yay! I can't even imagine what someone would feel if they grew up with Mario 64. Look, you can even make him look like the 64 model. I seriously loved this game from start to finish. It was so fresh and new, it tried new things but still felt familiar. It has a fantastic end which I didn't see coming. It kind of gave me a Sonic Adventure vibe. Did anyone else feel that? And even with its shortcomings, to me it feels like an essential part of the Switch's library. I did have to ask one thing though, especially what with the recent trend of 3D Mario games. Where's the playable Luigi? I'm actually legit surprised it's not in the game. Though, as of recording this voice line right now, a few days ago there was the Luigi balloon mode that was added. So I mean, that's something, but it would have been nice to play as Luigi as well. Who knows, Nintendo have been diving into the realm of DLC lately. Maybe that'll be something in the future. Nintendo have just had a really strong year, and it's only just been a year and already they have 2 potential Game of the Year contenders. It just gives me such good hope for the Switch in the coming year, and I'm really excited to see what happens next. As for where Odyssey falls on my favorite Mario games, it's really hard to tell. I feel like I'll need more time. It feels like I'd have to go back and play some of my favorite ones like Super Mario Galaxy again to see if it keeps up, and maybe right my wrongs by finally going out and trying to get a copy of Super Mario Galaxy 2. Who knows, maybe I'll visit them on the channel. I've been meaning to go back to the Mario series. I want to do a video on Super Mario Bros. 3. It's kind of like a late follow-up to the really beginning of this YouTube channel video I did on Super Mario Bros. 2. But what did you guys think of Super Mario Odyssey? I'd love to hear what you have to say. But either way, those were my thoughts on Super Mario Odyssey. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Hey guys, thanks for watching this episode of Pixelated Bytes. Apologies it took a bit to come out, but I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. I want to take this time to also thank my Patreon supporters for being so generous and understanding. Seriously, it means the world to me and I can't thank you enough. But we're back on track now, full steam ahead. If you want to check out some more of my videos, 2 will be available up there. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it. It gives me a good indication I'm doing good. Of course, subscribe if you want to be notified when I upload again, or if you really want to, you can always hit the bell. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode. Take care, and goodbye.